Hey piano people, in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to memorize every augmented and diminished chord forever! There are 24 of these chords, which sounds like a lot, but stay tuned because in just 2 simple steps, you will learn how to memorize them forever. Welcome to Ashley on Muisc Studio. I'm Ashley. You are about to learn how to practice smarter, not harder. Let's dive in. Step 1 is to memorize how to make augmented and diminished chords. Okay, so we're going to split the major chords into 4 groups of 3 chords each. And as we do that, I'm going to show you how to take these major chords and make them augmented chords and make them diminished chords. And drawing this information back to the major chords is really going to help you solidify it in your memory and remember it forever. So the first group is all white keys. So we have C major chord, F major chord, and G major chord. Now, these chords are all white keys. There's no black keys in them, and that is why they are grouped together. So C major has no black keys, F major has no black keys, G major has no black keys. Now, I want you to try to remember these 3 major chords as a part of one group. And once you start to remember them as a part of one group, we can talk about how to make them augmented and diminished. Now, this part is super simple. All you have to do to make a major chord augmented is raise the 5th or that top note a half step. Now, a half step is the distance from one key to the next key with nothing in between. So for C major, this G becomes a G sharp. So this is a C augmented chord, C, E, G sharp. The same thing is true for the F major chord. So I have my F major chord, I take the 5th or that top note and I raise it a half step. So it becomes F, A, C sharp, and that is an F augmented chord. And then for the G major chord, I take that 5th or the top note and raise it a half step. So it's G, B, D sharp, that is an augmented chord. So now I can practice these 3 chords, C augmented, F augmented, G augmented, together, sounds a little bit funky, and I can commit those to memory as well. Now, to make these chords diminished, it's the opposite of how we made them augmented. So we're gonna take our major chord, come back to that bass format again. We're gonna lower the middle note a half step. Now, if you've watched my other video about how to memorize major and minor chords, then you recognize that this is a minor chord, right? So we lower that middle note a half step, then we lower the 5th a half step as well. That is a C diminished chord. So the major chord was here. We have the 3rd is lowered to an E flat, the 5th is lowered to a G flat, that is C diminished. The same is true for the next chord. We lower the middle note, we lower the top note a half step, that is F diminished. Same is true for G major. We lower the middle note, we lower the top note, that is G diminished. So now I can practice all of those diminished chords together as one group. So C diminished, F diminished, G diminished. We're gonna go through the other 3 groups, but make sure you stick around for step 2 because I'm gonna show you more ways that you can really solidify those and get those chords into your memory. Group 2 is going to include chords that follow the pattern of a white key, a black key, a white key. So we have D major, you can see white key, black key, white key. We have E major, white key, black key, white key. And we have A major, white key, black key, white key. So D major, E major, A major. Now, we are going to do the same exact thing to make these chords augmented. So take them in their major form and raise the 5th a half step. So the A on the D major chord becomes an A sharp. The B on the E major chord becomes a B sharp. And on the A major chord, the E becomes an E sharp. So I can play all 3 of those together now. So I have a D augmented chord, an E augmented chord, and an A augmented chord. Now let's make them diminished. So we lower that middle note a half step and then lower the 5th a half step. There's D diminished. For E, we lower the middle note, lower the top note a half step, E diminished. Here's A, we lower the middle note a half step, lower the 5th a half step. So here's D diminished, E diminished, A diminished. Now notice, as I'm following that pattern of lowering to make diminished and raising to make augmented, they're still grouped together, right? These chords still feel the same. So when they're major, they're white, black, white. When they're augmented, they're white, black, black. And when they're diminished, they're white, white, black. So they still feel the same when I change them into augmented or diminished chords. Group 3 is going to follow a pattern of a black key, a white key, a black key. And these ones are going to be D flat major, E flat major, and A flat major. Now, let's make them augmented. So we're taking that top note and we're raising it a half step. So D flat, F, A flat becomes D flat, F, A natural. E flat major becomes E flat, G, B flat becomes E flat, G, B natural. A flat major, A flat, C, E flat becomes A flat, C, E natural. Those are all of the augmented chords. Notice that the augmented ones for this group are black key, white key, white key. Now let's make them diminished. So D flat major becomes D flat, F flat, A double flat. Now that sounds complicated, but remember all I'm doing is I'm lowering that middle note a half step, I'm lowering that top note a half step. So here's D flat diminished. For E flat major, I'm lowering the middle note a half step, the top note a half step, E flat diminished. And for A flat major, lowering the middle note a half step, lowering the top note a half step. We have one more group. The fourth group is the random shape group, or the leftover chords. We have G flat major, or this is also enharmonically called F sharp major. We have B flat major, and we have B major. Okay, so G flat major or F sharp major has all black keys. B flat major is a black key, a white key, a white key, and B major is exactly the opposite, a white key, a black key, a black key. So these are the leftover ones, the random shapes, and they go together. Now, let's make them augmented. So G flat major, we have G flat, B flat, D flat is going to become G flat, B flat, D natural. So we raise that fifth a half step, that's augmented. B flat major, we raise the fifth a half step, augmented. B major, we raise the fifth a half step, augmented. Now let's make them diminished. G flat major, we lower the middle note a half step, lower the top note a half step. There's G flat diminished. B flat diminished, we lower the middle note a half step, lower the top note a half step. B major, lower the middle note a half step, lower the top note a half step. So now you have all of the major, augmented, and diminished chords in 4 different groups. And this sets you up perfectly for step 2, which is to practice memorizing them. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, copy the link, and share it with a friend so that they can memorize all of their augmented and diminished chords. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel because I release helpful videos every single week. Back to step 2. Step 2 is to get these augmented and diminished chords into the deeper layers of your memory so that you truly can remember them forever. So in order to really get these chords into your memory, you're going to focus on one group of chords for an entire practice session. Now you might even do this for a few practice sessions over the course of a few days or even a few weeks, because the more you can get the note names, the feel, the sound into your memory, the better chance you have of truly remembering these chords forever. So let's demonstrate with group 1 for starters. So I'm going to play C augmented, F augmented, and G augmented. Now, I'm going to play each chord focusing on how it feels, focusing on how it sounds, and then I'm going to jump around and arpeggiate these chords, say the notes out loud, play them in all of the different registers of the piano to do whatever it takes to wrap my brain around these chords completely. So C augmented, C, E, G sharp, and I might do that in other areas of the piano. C augmented, C, E, G sharp, C augmented, C, E, G sharp. I might do it with my other hand. C augmented, C, E, G sharp, C augmented, C, E, G sharp. I might do it in both hands. C augmented, C, E, G sharp. And now I might just jump around, finding all of those C augmented chords to really get them into my fingers, to get my ear familiar with the sound, and to help me remember C, E, G sharp is always going to be a C augmented chord. Let's try F augmented. F augmented is F, A, C sharp. So I can do the same thing, do it with both hands, do it with one hand, do it with the other hand, jump around, say the note names out loud, F, A, C sharp, F, A, C sharp, A, F, A, C sharp, A, F. And now I might take those 2 chords and alternate between the 2. So here's C augmented, F augmented, C augmented, F augmented, C augmented, F augmented, C, F, C, F, C, F, C, F. And I will add my last chord of the group, the 3rd chord, which is G augmented, G, B, D sharp, G, B, D sharp. Jump around. This helps your eyes really get to know the geography of the keyboard as well as your muscle memory.
And now I have all three chords: C augmented, F augmented, G augmented. Now I might do them in a different order: G augmented, F augmented, C augmented, G augmented, C augmented, F augmented, G augmented, C augmented. And you can see as I'm doing this, I'm just trying to get my brain to really get to know them in every way possible. Now, you can go a lot slower than this, and you're gonna spend a lot more time on this in your practice. So you might be doing C augmented for an entire practice session, or you might be playing these jumps significantly slower. And that's okay, the speed doesn't matter. What matters is that you give yourself the time and the space to truly commit them to memory before you add another chord or before you go on and add another group. And once you do feel comfortable with an entire group, then you can move on to the next group.
So take these steps and go forward to memorize your augmented and diminished chords. I will put the link on the end screen, another video that you can watch to memorize all of your seventh chords. You can grab the link to that next video right here on the end screen. Happy practicing.